The story of the old people is all about their lifelong search for the purple grass. And I think it was a book. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it was a book, but I think it was a book. And they spent years and years and years and years, and they felt very unhappy for not finding the purple grass. And at the very end of their lives, they looked down and they found out that they had been on the purple grass all their lives, but they just failed to look down. And yeah, and basically that's what I do with people. I make them look down, like, okay, this is what's already there, and this is what I can use. And because we all have those,
So,
we all have the purple grass.
you find that people they're so stuck, or they can't see, or they're not looking in the right place, or they don't have the right questions coming to them. If they're into create, they say, Bradley, I hear you. I sign up. I want to create. What do I do? I'm stuck.
Yeah.
How do they get unstuck?
What I do is I ask them a few questions. And one of the questions could be like, tell me about why you chose to do this, to run this business. Why do you do what you do? And then people start talking. And then all of a sudden they kind of unlock what has been there like for years and years. And, some of them who have done the work on, what is your why, the Simon Sinek thing, but still it can be like I don't know, sometimes it's a smooth marketing thing. But I really want to tap into that drive, like, oh, I really want to be doing this because, and that's where the gold is. That's really where the gold is. And we sometimes we just forget about that. And we just, we're so stuck in our to-do lists and in our, oh, I need to be launching something, and oh, what is the pricing and all of that we tend to forget what was that inner fire, what keeps us going. And I would say it's a combination. It's about the questions. It's about being too much in your own bubble. It's being like on your own stuff while you need to step away, and then you will be able to see like, oh, this is pretty interesting. So yeah, it's a combination of all of it, I would say.
So they need a dialogue, ideally, with some questions, but they need somebody who's going to be able to ask the probing questions to get in there a little bit and dig a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe not, I don't know, a best friend or a family member or somebody who knows them so well.
Preferably not. Preferably not someone who knows them really well, because they will assume all kinds of things and they will take things like a matter of fact. They really need to talk to someone who's like, oh, and why did you do that? Oh, and how come you chose this path? And oh, that's interesting. Oh, but that's pretty special. I've never heard that before. And friends and family will never say that because they are used to that. Like the person, him or herself, is used to being able to do whatever his or her zone of genius is. And that's the thing, because with a talent, it's, you have a huge blind spot. You assume that everyone else can do the same as you, and that's, I think that's one of the main characteristics of a talent, that you're blind to it. You think that everyone else can do it. So I always tell the people that I work with, like, whenever you think like, yeah, anyone can do that, that is a red flag from now on. It really is a red flag. Like, oh, perhaps I'm thinking that, perhaps not everyone can do that. And I think that's the main thing that we need to become aware of. Like, okay, what is your zone of genius? And we always need someone else to pinpoint that.
But I think that third party, like you say, not too close.
Yeah.
But then I think the advantage of talking with you is that you're also consciously or even unconsciously looking for it, and you might pull it out. There's a big long sentence and you say, ooh, it's right there. And you pull it out, this little piece.
Yeah.
So I don't know if just a dialogue with just any old stranger at the supermarket.
No. No,
is going to cut
no,
it.
of course, and that's the thing, and perhaps it's funny to say that, but that this is my zone of genius. I know I can do that. When
Okay.
people talk to me, I'm like, ooh, it just, I don't even have to work hard to do that. It
Yeah.
just comes to me when people give me their stories and their explanations. I'm like, ooh, okay, I can connect those dots quite easily, and that's what I do best. So it's not like, oh, anyone can do that, but I think you can train it with the right questions, and perhaps even like writing those stories and then looking for the highlights. Like, okay, what is the common thread in this story? So what is the pattern? Can I recognize a pattern, for instance? So I think we can do a lot, but still, it's the most effective when you do it with someone who's kind of trained to get that out of it, or trained or talented, I would say.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, preferably both.
Wow. So if not everybody in the world can talk with you one-on-one, do you have a couple questions that you could help us out to get started with, so that you could help that person at least get started with a couple questions?
Yeah. So the first one, I already mentioned that one, is why do you do what you do?
Okay.
Another one would be, what if money would be no issue? What would you be doing and why?
Wow. Yeah. Well, I could see how these are totally biased if it's like family or friends, because you would answer so differently.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And another one would be, what do you dream of? What would be your ultimate goal in life? What would be your dream? And even it may be really crazy and funny or very unrelated to work, but what would be your dream? And then people just start talking, and then I would almost say, funnily enough, but it's not funny. It's because that's where the gold is. And but you need someone to be able to translate that, like, okay.
And to get them talking.
Yeah.
And because
absolutely.
maybe their gut reaction, first reaction, what's your dream? Oh, my dream has always been to be an airline pilot. And then it turns out, why do you want to be an airline pilot? Oh, because I really like to travel, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it comes out.
Yeah, I had someone who said, oh, I would love to run a B&B in Spain, and I would love to, take care of people and cook and And then all of a sudden, it turned out that she said, oh, I really love to take care of people. I really love to take care. So in a happy place. So not when they're sick or whatever, but really to make them happy. And then the B&B becomes a metaphor for loving to take care of people and to make people happy. And then we got to build on that, and all of a sudden it kind of weaved into her business, and she's like, this is what I do.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, I love it. This is great. These are great tips to get unstuck, unblocked, and some tangible help to get there. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
You're so welcome.